What is going on, everyone? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. We are coming to you guys another hot live Saturday evening, man. Appreciate you guys watching us, everybody in the chat as of right now. Got another phenomenal guest, but before we go around the panel here and just get all of our pleasantries, we just want to say thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. It's a big week. We're 5 years deep in this thing, man. I tweeted that out earlier, so appreciate everybody with the continued support, everybody who's been here since day one, all the new people who retweet, like, just show any kind of support, just any kind of support on the show, man. We really appreciate you guys. We try and bring the best possible content, man, and we keep doing this for you guys. So let's go ahead, just go around the panel here, get started with our special guest all the way from NLG, man. Shout out to Uncle Mike over there at NLG. Appreciate. I know he'll pop up here soon. I'm sure he'll be in the chat hanging out, man. But we got Fastback hanging out with us, man. Shout out to you. Let everybody know where they can find you out, Fastback, and what you've been doing, man. What you've been playing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Glad you guys have me on. Longtime fan. What you just said 5 years, so I can't believe it's been that long.
It has.
And you're already getting close to 250, right?
Yeah.
So are we, and on NOG. As far as playing, I've been playing a lot of Valhalla right now. I'm putting in a lot of time on that. It's a long game, and trying to get that done, and then probably Phoenix Rising next.
Okay.
But you know how it is. It's so hard. There's so many good games out there, and everybody's lately has been talking about Biomutant. I was like, man, I want to get it. I want to play it, but I need to stick to some of my guns, because if I get it, I'm just gonna keep adding to my backlog, right?
Yeah.
Like we all do. You can find me every Thursday on the Next Level Gaming podcast on YouTube with my brother Mike and Peter, and on Xbox and PlayStation, Fastback 6768. Don't ask for the Switch.
The Social Security Switch number.
My 8-year-old, she always has that, so I haven't really been playing that much on that. Of course, on PC, I'm on PC, Steam and Epic and all that stuff. So, but
awesome.
No, it's exciting times. Next weekend. Well, actually today we already have the Guerrilla Game Show that kind of kicked it off a little bit with some indie stuff. So
man. I saw that.
It's gonna be a good week, good next weekend. So can't wait. Glad to talk about all that stuff with you guys today.
All right, man. Appreciate you hanging out, man. Once again, chat. Fastback, you've been awesome, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you showing up here. But we'll go ahead and get started here in a second. But once again, chat, hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate every single one of you guys, man. Trying to keep this good momentum rolling into next week. We got a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get around the panel here. What's up, Stag? How you been, brother?
Great. I got a new puppy, and things are good.
Good, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Say some more.
if that's what's going on.
New puppy, and like nothing else matters right now. No, man, things have been good. I just finished up Doom Eternal finally. Man, that game's freaking crazy. Like, I honestly couldn't believe how hard it was, and I was playing that shit on easy because that's how I roll. And I was like, dude, this game can just suck it. But
all right. Okay, cool. Well, you just playing that, man, rocking out, got the new puppy.
All right, I didn't have the podcast muted on YouTube, and I just heard myself come back. I was like, ugh.
That feedback.
I'm like, dude, I gotta go. that voice mod myself or something. I gotta work on the voice. So
it's all good, man.
I just been chilling, kind of taking a little break from streaming. I mean, I'm still doing it, but I just kind of took a little bit of step back. Glad to be here with you guys and do the stuff and things.
Let's get it, man. Well, let's dive into it. And then Pong, Miss Steve Harvey of the podcast game. How you been, Pong? Got the living split screen cooking up, man. I saw that earlier today, man. But other than that, how you been?
Been good. Busy week, but we're coming up on Christmas time. This doesn't get better than this right now. So we got leaks happening. We got little peeks and glimpses at some of the Christmas presents coming down the line. So that's exciting. Otherwise, we've got Fastback. We got brother Chris here from NLG. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm going to be on their show on Thursday.
Thank you, brother.
Man, it's awesome to be here. PTK continues to kill it with the guests, so that makes this night even better. Of course, I'm here with all of you guys, man, part of my extended family, my podcast family, so that's always good. I was going to say, unlike Brother Chris, I keep adding to my backlog. So I don't care. I'm going to play as many games as I want to, even if I don't finish them. I don't care. So I've been dipping between, let's see, Biomutant, Dying Light this week. I got back into that with the 60 frames per second. Man, that's gorgeous. And then I picked up Elix,
Nice.
a little AA action RPG open world that's either you love it or you hate it, by Piranha Bytes and THQ Nordic. But I've had my eye on this for a long time. Saw it on sale in the store this week. Actually found it physically cheaper, so I actually just picked it up. And I've been diving into that, man. Great game. I love it. This is I'm not going to hold your hand kind of RPG. This is the old school style Western RPG where they just kind of throw you to the wolves and you're going to die. And that's why a lot of people hated it. It's got some jankiness to it. That's why some other people hated it. But you know what? Overall, the game is fun as hell, and I'm loving it. So that's what I've been up to, PTK. But I'm just glad to be here with you all. So let's get down to it.
Yes, sir. Let's keep it moving, man. Fuzz, how you been doing? What you been cooking up, man?
Just between busy at work, looking forward to E3 and the Summer Game Fest coming up next week, and playing a little bit of everything. You know, I always got to hit up Forza Horizon for the cars that they have for the week and stuff. But man, it definitely feels like gamer Christmas now at this point, because the 3080 Ti just dropped, and not too many people got them, but I'm gonna try to figure out a way to pick up one here in the next week or so. But glad to have Chris on here from NLG, and you know, it's just. We got so much stuff to dive into with what's coming around the corner, but man, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. And last but not least, Centurion, man, how you been this week, brother?
What's up? Oh man, I'm actually jealous of you guys. What have I been doing this week? So I had a huge opportunity open up for me to basically build my first website for an actual business and be paid to do it. And I have pretty much been going to the wall on building this thing. And I have only been able to kind of dissect what everybody talks about in their own podcast, just listening to everybody. I feel like I'm living off everyone else's hype. Luckily, this project is going to be finishing up for me next week, and I'll be able to kind of like get all officially caught up. I'm totally jealous of you guys, though. You guys are in the know, and that's why I've been joining here every Saturday just to help basically get in the know just like everyone else.
Awesome. And we appreciate you, man. We're gonna fill you in for sure. You'll get your fill of
like I'm reading stuff, but I mean, like, oh my gosh, some of these events when like you're just like, I gotta watch how much, and you'll have them play in the background, but then you know you try to see everything and you'll miss little tidbits, and then you'll find out about something from like Pong because he's just like this fountain of knowledge when it comes to gaming, and just everything he talks about is awesome, and the minute he'll tell you something you didn't even know.
Well, once again, you got plenty of that coming your way here. So once again, people in the chat, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Let me do a quick shout out. So we got K Asante in here. Appreciate your brother, Other Zing, Indie Gamer, back from the dead. Obviously, Pong, I see you lurking in the chat in there. HTK 360, She Snow, everybody. If I missed you, I do apologize, man. Let everybody know we're live here. Retweet that link on Twitter. Let's go ahead and just get started, man. We're starting with the poll of the week, as we always do here. Something that we do, fairly often. We almost never miss a poll of the week. I put it up on my Twitter account on Monday. We talk about it on Saturday. So follow me there if you guys want to participate in the poll of the week. So this week, poll of the week was, I was wondering what would happen if two completely different genres combine into one. So it's kind of a mashup poll of the week. Which one of these mashup would make the best game? I always like doing these because they're fun. Like, they almost never happen, but it's always cool to think if they mash games up, like two specific games, how would it turn out? So we had Halo Bloodborne, we had Forza Twisted Metal, Killer Instinct / Mortal Kombat, and then Zelda / Elder Scrolls. So this was actually one of the fairly even polls I've ever done. So looks like Forza Twisted Metal edged it out with 29% of the vote. Zelda Elder Scrolls came in second with 26%. Halo, Bloodborne, and Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat tied each with 23%. So we're gonna start with you, Fastback. We're doing a little what you call it? I can't even think of the term, but which one of those mashups do you think you would like out of those options?
I chose Forza Horizon and Twisted Metal.
Okay.
I think that'd be kind of interesting. Imagine having Forza Horizon, the look, all the cars that are in there, and imagine if they worked out a deal and got a Twisted Metal DLC, right? Because we've seen Lego, we've seen Hot Wheels, and so you just have this crazy, DLC with, Forza Horizon cars and all that, just trying to kill each other, and what Twisted Metal is about, right? Just chaos in the streets. So, but I doubt what's the name? What's the name? What's the developer for Twisted Metal? David Jaffe.
Yeah.
He probably will never work with Xbox. I guess I don't know.
Well, that's a kind of a big hurdle. That's kind of a big hurdle to get over when you're not really dealing with a particular company. But yeah, I think obviously that's the one that won the post. A lot of people wanted to see that one. It would be, and all of these, honestly, this is one of the tougher ones that I put out as far as a mashup. But yeah, Forza Horizon, Twisted Metal. I mean, what more could you want? The fluidity of Forza Horizon, the open world, on top of all of that crazy destruction like Twisted Metal, man, I think would be a dream come true for a lot of people, a lot of racing fans as well. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Pong. Get your opinion, man. Which one did you choose, bro?
Oh man, this was easy. This was easy for me, man. I want Twisted Metal back, and to have a mashup with Forza. My God, get the best of both worlds. Get some car battling going in there. Get some weapons on my Ferrari. That's what I'm talking about. That would be an absolute dream for me. Make it with Forza Horizon, kind of open world feel. You could have some crazy stunt battle action going on in the Hot Wheels section. I mean, when you put that out there, I was like, oh, this is a wrap right here. This is quick right here, man. This is perfect. So yeah, no. That one right there would be a dream scenario for me. I've wanted Twisted Metal to make a comeback for a long time. I miss Twisted Metal Black like you wouldn't believe, and that right there is the one. So
yeah. So for me, I went a little left on I actually went Halo Bloodborne, and I'm not.
Then you're wrong. Then you're wrong. So
you can't go wrong with Halo. You can't go wrong with Halo. So this is the thing. Hear me out here. Hear me
Next topic. Let's go.
Hear me out. So I'm not even that big of a Bloodborne fan. I think it's more the idea of making Halo into some kind of pseudo horror game. It's kind of what I'm interested in with the flood, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I was thinking when I mashed up the two to ramp the difficulty level up. Give Chief a bunch of cool melee weapons. Obviously, he can still keep the guns and shit. But I just think that would be kind of a cool spin on Halo. So that's just my crazy ass mind. But we'll go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Which one did you go with, brother?
I voted KIMK.
Okay.
Because
that's the most probable one.
Two very beloved fighting franchises. But can we throw in like Clay Fighter and Battle Arena Toshinden just for kicks too?
I mean, yeah. If you want to
mash
throw that
all
in
four of them together,
and Primal Rage. Can we mash 5? Primal Rage 2.
Hey, honestly, let's throw every fighting game and just have like these mega fighter lists, dude. Like you're scrolling for 20 minutes trying to find your fighter. But no, I mean seriously, I love Killer Instinct. It's a lot of fun. I've played it a bunch. It's not 100% free on Xbox, but I haven't played it in a long time. But and like the fatalities from Mortal Kombat with like the different characters from Killer Instinct would be friggin' amazing. So, and just I mean, man, you take the fatalities from Mortal Kombat and the fluidity of Killer Instinct. Jeez.
Ooh. Combo, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's a wet dream right there, man. You talking right on my alley, Stag. Right on my alley. Okay, that's another option. That's the most realistic option, to be honest. Like if one was actually going to happen, that's probably like the closest one out of all of these, in my opinion. But we'll go ahead.
Xbox would pick up WB and pick up that.
I was just gonna say, brother Chris, that might be coming down. Nether Realms might be available, and we know who's got the money.
We'll see. We'll see. We not. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion, man. Out of those options, bro, which one did you choose and why?
I chose the Forza Twisted Metal option.
Okay.
There you go, Centurion. That's right. That's the right one.
Great time.
Taking a safe route, clearly.
Oh no, you see, no, I want to totally get this thing, crack this egg wide open. Like I want to see Sweet Tooth again. I want to see some of these iconic characters, because there was always the story aspect that was missed about Twisted Metal. When you got into the story, it was just these almost like just pretty much pictures that would flash by on the screen with some words that would tell you the story of that character, because the ultimate end goal was to win Twisted Metal, so that way you could pretty much, I think it was like, what, to get a wish, if I remember.
I don't remember the specific story.
At the end of it, like when the character won, you got a wish, basically.
Yes, correct.
And that the whole premise of the story was to understand that some of these people were wanting to wish people to come back from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Each person had their own ulterior motive. And that's where I really think it would be a fun way to hatch it out. Obviously, we could have some of those iconic bosses, like, you know how Forza does the thing where you race the train or you race the jet or the hovercraft. Yeah. Let's have, like, literally, you're going to this could almost be an RPG. You are going in to basically get involved in the competition, and you're going to shape your character to be what you want. And, let's turn it up. Like, you got to remember, there's an ultimate end goal. And, wouldn't it be fun to actually have your customized character trying to take on a sweet tooth that's just completely covered in flames and all other crazy stuff going down while you're trying to just win the race against this guy, or even just beat him in a competition? I just think that sky's the limit when some of these characters could really bring a lot of flavor to this game.
A racing RPG, you say? I'm about that. A little 210 Bethesda mashup.
Think about it, man. Like, well, everybody, I remember Mad Max is in my backlog for Xbox. I need to play, but it's like you shaped your car going like, no, I want to put these on it. I want to put those on it. You actually, like, I'm more of a Blades kind of person, and I just want to tear somebody up versus having like guns and stuff like that. It would like really add some customization.
No, I like that idea. You going you go in the right direction here. We giving away a whole lot of money right now. We giving away a whole lot. No, but I like the way you're going, Centurion. I didn't really think it through that much as far as that particular choice, but I like where you're going.
And the Forza thing, man, they got that where you go in and build your car. Now imagine building your ultimate car or ride you'd play Twisted Metal in, and you can hit that preview button, and all of a sudden the doors open up, and you can look at the interior and be like, oh my God, this thing is sick.
Oh man, I could. There's so many possibilities, man. But let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. I already know where you're going. I don't even know why. I even asked you. Go ahead.
Zelda? No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, it's going to be Forza Horizon and Twisted Metal. Like, we just need the ice cream truck. We need like flamethrowers. We need, basically turn the Eliminator, which is like their battle royale for racing in Forza. Turn that into like a Twisted Metal, battle royale. Just, all right, I'm gonna have chains on my tires. I'm gonna have torpedoes shoot out the headlights or something. Just anything to basically tear down these cars, and whoever's the last one standing, or at least can still move with the wheels, or maybe the tires are completely blown off, but the rims are still spinning, type of thing. And that'll be the ultimate winner. And I like Centurion's idea with like their showcases where you race the train or the hovercraft. Yeah, have that as your boss battle type of deal. And the loot that drops at the end would be like the flamethrower for the hood or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, they even if it's not the Twisted Metal brand, I hope Forza people are listening, because that's just something that needs to happen.
Dude, not just to put it out there, this would really, people might look at me for, but think about some of the loot grinding aspects you could get on, like, if you want to face this dude on like some legendary difficulty level and try to get some specific customization for your car.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead, Fuzz. I don't mean to cut
you. No, but that idea in itself, I'm sold. The Killer Instinct in Mortal Kombat, that's probably like Stag was saying, it's going to probably be the most realistic out of all of them, just because we hopefully Microsoft or Xbox has the opportunity to pick up NetherRealm, but fingers crossed we'll see if something happens with that whole Discovery spinoff deal. But I do want to say I'm intrigued by your Halo and Bloodborne idea.
I'm telling you, man.
I kind of think like when we're going with the space horror, because I've been playing a lot of Prey lately on my Xbox Series X. But if you can imagine, just the whole ring is pretty much powers out, no light, it's in darkness, and you're having to, make your way through certain, checkpoints and stuff, you got to worry about the flood hunting you down or some sort of new
Insane.
enemy that just, it would be. It wouldn't be Dead Space, no, but it would definitely have that horror vibe that I would like to see some sort of spin-off, even if it's not Chief, just have it in the Halo universe and make it where it's like a space horror game where you got to get off that ring alive, but you got to, rescue a few of the, Guardians on there. So, but yeah, that pretty interesting idea, but
Oh yeah.
give me Forza Horizon and, Twisted Metal or some sort of car combat thing. Heck, even branded as Mad Max, and I'm sold.
Awesome. Okay. And once again, people, that was a warm up. That's the poll of the week, man. So a lot of great options there, man. Once again, let us know in the chat what you guys think of the poll of the week. Stay tuned. Stay locked into my Twitter. Follow me there. All of that's in the description below when you guys want to participate as far as the poll of the week goes. So let's go ahead and move into the meat and potatoes of the podcast. This is why you guys are actually here. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Battlefield 6. I actually had a different topic, but I switched it up at the last minute. So we're going to be talking about our wish list, what we want to see from Battlefield 6, not necessarily what it needs to have, but just what kind of we want to see, as well as this kind of a two-part question. Could it possibly be included in Game Pass or have some type of tie to Game Pass at all? I mean, there's a slight rumor going around, but we'll take that with a grain of salt until we hear further. But we'll start with our guest here, Fastback Man. Battlefield's right around the corner. What do you want to see from Battlefield, you personally? And then the two-part here is possibly what tie could it have to Game Pass?
Yeah, I was real big on Battlefield on 1, 2, and 3. Enjoyed those. I didn't really do 4. 4 was more the modern, right?
Yeah.
I think even the others were kind of somewhat, right? And then 5, I kind of enjoyed it. Went World War I and just kind of different. But this one, I think isn't this one rumored to be modern?
Yeah, it's
it's modern.
Future.
It's
like,
modern.
Damn near.
Yeah,
future.
it's like 20. It's like 20 years in the future.
Yeah,
15, 20 years.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's up my alley. I like to check that out, and just get back into it where you have your classes and engineer and so on and work together, and the damage of the environment, buildings, and then be able to jump in different tanks and helicopter and different stuff. I definitely would jump in that. I'm not big on multiplayer anymore as far as FPS, but I do like Battlefield a little more than Call of Duty. So I am excited for this, and I hope it comes in Game Pass. I think Battlefield will benefit being in Game Pass because the last one really didn't receive well, right? And of course, compared to Call of Duty, it's not going to. It's the engagement and the sales numbers are not going to be up there with Call of Duty. And I think Game Pass would help bring more engagement for Battlefield 6. So it would be cool if that happens. We'll see.
No, that makes sense. And I like the fact that you pointed out the engagement, because people forget that's the best part of Game Pass is it gives you that instant engagement as far as having a player base that's going to actually, go in and experiment, download the game and actually play it. So it gives you I almost call it a safety net in a way. I talked about this. Shout out to, I was on Grown Woman Gaming earlier this morning. Shout out to the ladies over there as well. And we actually talked about that. It kind of being a safety net for even like large third-party games like Outriders. I don't know if Outriders would have been able to survive had it not been in Game Pass with all of the issues. It may have been a whole nother Anthem situation all over again with Outriders due to the inventory wipe and some of the other issues that it had. But because it's in Game Pass, people didn't really mind it being broken because, you didn't pay for it, one. Two, you kind of just, it's there. So you're going to wait for the patches to come out. Then you're just going to boot it up and play again. So it kind of benefited from being in Game Pass. So I do agree that Battlefield will greatly benefit, especially this point in time, because it kind of has to show itself again, right? It hasn't been where it used to be at, because we used to be able to talk about Battlefield and COD on the same level. A lot of people were going back and forth between the two, and it hasn't been that way for some time now. So let's throw this over to you, Fuzz. We'll actually roll this over to you, brother. What do you think? What's your Battlefield 6 wish list, and what do you think as far as a relation to Game Pass? Are we going to see anything regarding Battlefield and Game Pass?
Well, the wish list includes it going to Game Pass just for the fact that it'll make it so much easier. Although I know they had some server issues when 4 came out, but considering how well how I guess light 5 was as far as for active members and things like that. Put it in Game Pass. Watch the 15 to 20 million Game Pass subscribers. Only wait like a few seconds to be in a match. I mean, they're talking about, I think it's 180 or at least 160, if not 180.
Yeah, it's quite
players.
a bit.
So it's like if you're going to have that many players and you want those matches filled to the brim consistently, yeah, go ahead and if it's not free to play, go ahead and put it in Game Pass, and you'll have a guarantee of at least for the first few weeks, as long as you can get people hooked on it. People will consistently be loaded into those matches just to kind of play around. I mean, the big thing they got to do, have some decent vehicles, make it so it's not like a pay to win like they try to do with Battlefield. Not Battlefield, but what do you call them? I can't even think of it. Well, not Battle Force, but the thing for Star Wars, like where they Battlefront, the way they tried to make it where the vehicles and some of the heroes were like a pay to win type of deal in the beginning.
Yeah.
As long as they don't do anything like that, there's like no real cooldown on the vehicles. You can just, if you can run to it or get in it, it's yours type of thing.
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine. But definitely looking forward to hearing more about Battlefield 6, just for the fact that it's modern warfare stuff. Yeah, it's more near future, 2042 or something, but man, it'll be a nice break from COD. And considering, I guess COD was supposed to do like a World War II or some sort of extended thing after World War II up to the Korean War, I'm happy that we're going to have at least a modern warfare type of game out there at that time. But that's pretty much it. It'd be a great thing to have it in Game Pass. That way it's a lot more engagement, a lot more players, easy, no real wait times for matches and things like that.
But with the rumor of 100, maybe 128 player map, Game Pass would definitely help.
I think they said it was going to be like 160, but whatever the size is on that map, I mean, whether it's close combat or if they're just going to go all out war like in a city, that I'm all for it. That has to happen.
No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree regarding that. I don't know. Battlefield's in such a weird spot for me though, because it's not like people aren't excited about it, because people generally are excited about the next Battlefield. But at the same time, it actually does have to kind of show itself again. It actually kind of has to reintroduce itself, because people haven't really experienced a good one, because Battlefield 1 was okay. I bought Battlefield 1 day one. It was okay. It was pretty good. But like you said, I think they went one game too far with the World War II, World War I stuff. I think they should have stopped it at one. That probably should have been the last one. But we're getting what we should get, and I'm extremely excited for it. Hopefully it shows well. I feel like it will. As long as EA hasn't, pigeonholed them into making some specific type of Battlefield. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Just get your quick opinion on this, bruh.
You want me to give you the one that I gave earlier or the one I have now?
The one you have now.
I want Bad Company. Fuck the rest of the bullshit.
Okay.
And,
I feel you.
The one that I gave earlier, just for everybody else, was I think Battlefield can go ahead and just die. So I think the same thing about Call of Duty, but that's just me. I mean, I'm kind of over the fucking war games, but I did really like I'm probably gonna catch some flack for this, but the Call of Duty that was in the future.
Infinite Warfare?
I did enjoy that one. Like, I'm just tired of the World War II stuff too. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate the history and I love that, but like, I would prefer to like do real time now or future type stuff. I don't know. I've always been more into like futuristic type of FPSs. So the Bad Companies were great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah. They had great stories too. The campaigns were so fun, like in the Bad Company games as well.
I know people love Battlefield, but
there's nothing wrong with that.
Favorite, and I do hope this one does have a good campaign.
Yes, that's key to Battlefield.
Shit.
Yeah, because Battlefield 1, it was just more like moments, right? And and they were cool, but yeah, I want a good campaign.
Yeah, and that's key. That's one thing that's super underrated about Battlefield, is that it's always had a good balance of multiplayer and campaign. Call of Duty hasn't always had that. So we'll see how this thing goes. But let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Paul, and get your opinion. What is on your Battlefield wish list, brother? As well as, are we going to see any type of association with Game Pass from Battlefield? Any type of partnership or just in Game Pass at all?
Yeah. So number one, I'm with Stag as far as Bad Company goes. I want that back. But beyond that, since we're not getting Bad Company 3, which we have deserved for a very long time, I want the return of the king of first-person shooters for me personally, which is Battlefield. I want those only in Battlefield moments to be live, back again all over social media, hashtag only in Battlefield, with the craziness that could happen in those huge maps with vehicles, with people running around, with snipers, all that kind of crazy junk. I want to see it all again. And the screenshots that were just leaked, the pre-alpha screenshots, give me all of that. That is Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And I want to see more and more of that again. And so for me, this is huge. Obviously, 5 had its issues. 4 had its issues before they fixed them.
Yeah.
We can't have any of that. They've taken extra time. They took time off. They went back to the drawing board. I think they've learned their lessons. They've called in help. They got Criterion now working on this as well with them. I think they really understand that this is their chance to grab back a big chunk of that mind share they've lost to Call of Duty over the years because they've been fooling around and doing all this other extra stuff, which they did not need to do. I liked, Hardline or whatever it was with the cops and stuff. That was fun. It was different, but that should not have been a main game.
No.
And then they went to, and then they went to World War I, which is fine. Yeah, it was different. World War I was fine. It was different for a while. It actually played really well, but they have to understand, and I think that both Call of Duty and Battlefield should understand at this point, that it gets boring after a while with the old weapons. You just don't have the options that you do with modern weapons and modern style battles. It gets old real quick. And again, I love World War II. I love history. I love World War I. It's fantastic to go back and experience those times, but you got to understand those games don't have the legs that modern warfare style games do. And I think they've learned their lesson. Battlefield 5 had awful spawn points. The maps were terribly designed for the most part. They fixed it to some degree. The Pacific DLC that they came out with should have actually been what the original game would have been launched with. Those maps were beautiful. Those maps were perfectly set up for the most part. And if had they launched that way, we wouldn't have heard so much of the negativity that we got with Battlefield 5. But that's history now. They screwed up big time. They need to get back to where they were. They need to get back into the conversation with Call of Duty. So I want them to bring it back to 3 and 4, minus 4's initial problems, and give us that experience all over again. And then the other deciding factor for Battlefield is going to be making and cutting a deal to get into Game Pass. I think that all that smoke that we have been hearing for a long time is going to turn into a fire. I think we're going to see the flames soon enough. And I believe that is the next piece of the puzzle to get back to this. I think that they understand that they're going to have a player base. They're going to be going up against whatever Call of Duty does. And again, that's up in the air right now. We don't know what we're going to get this year, but we know for a fact we're going to get something from Activision in the Call of Duty line, whatever it is, and people are still going to buy it. Okay. It's still going to sell in the millions. If they go back to World War II, it's not going to be as popular, but it's still going to be the Call of Duty hardcore are going to be there for them. And then we're talking about that's tens of millions of people. Then you got Halo Infinite coming out. Okay. And that's going to be a free to play multiplayer. And we already know the power of Halo and what that hype is going to be like as we approach that launch. So Battlefield is slotted in between, and they somehow have to get people to play and stay in their game. They have to get that engagement up. How are you going to do that? Well, you're going to drop it in front of 25, 30 million Game Pass subscribers instantaneously. Day one, you're going to have people hopping in there trying to see, hey, maybe I get that old Battlefield feel back again, because there's a lot of people like me who've been missing that old game again and want to see it back on top. And so that's what you do. You cut a deal, you get into Game Pass, you get an instant player base, and you do it right out the gates, and all of a sudden you're going to start clawing your way back into this game, especially if Call of Duty slips this year. If Call of Duty slips this year,
Well,
and you bring back that Battlefield feel that only in Battlefield can happen with 128 players or whatever it's going to be, 64 on 64, you're going to get some of your share, that mind share, back again. So yeah, I think it's a done deal. I think it's coming to Game Pass day and date.
All right. Well, so just to take a lot away from the breakdown, a couple quick things. Now, one, they've had this opportunity before. You guys remember when Call of Duty dropped the ball? They had the most disliked trailer in YouTube history, and Battlefield had a shot then, and they didn't take the opportunity because people were extremely upset at COD, didn't want to play the game, didn't want to buy it, and Battlefield didn't really make much headway. So this is another opportunity for them. And Call of Duty is not even in a bad spot, to be honest.
No.
Call of Duty is in a phenomenal spot. Warzone is growing.
Cold
huge,
War
it's
sold
amazing.
more than it has forever. Like it's up there again. Once again, it's just like Madden. Everybody complains about Madden, but everybody buys it every year.
They just need Battlefield just needs to be Battlefield to balance things out because it has to. We've always talked about Battlefield and Call of Duty in the same breath, and I want that again for Battlefield. I want to have those discussions about, but I want to boot up my Xbox and scratch my chin on which one I actually want to play, and then not be like I'm not even thinking about Battlefield. So if it gets back to that position for me specifically, I'll be happy. But I'm just happy to see that they're making some changes. They've come in, a little bit more modern, even future, so to speak. So I'm just happy to see what they're doing. I want to see it. Very, very excited. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion on, what's your wish list for Battlefield as well. Let us know, chat, what you guys want to see from Battlefield 6. We always have all these different ideas. So let us know in the chat what you guys want to see in the whole Game Pass situation. But go ahead, Centurion.
Well, my wish list is going to be, I guess, short and sweet. Battlefield has always been at least my favorite franchise when you compare the two, Call of Duty or Battlefield. I've always preferred their story campaigns versus Call of Duty's. So all I really hope for Battlefield is that they really kind of like, I don't want to piggyback off of what Pong said, but I really hope they rekindle that fire and energy for Battlefield. I do remember sitting here on the couch back in the day with friends playing Battlefield Bad Company. I'm ready to have that back again. I was over Call of Duty a long time ago. So for me, I just hope whatever they do, they give us a game that delivers, gets everybody hyped, everybody's playing it. And then, of course, obviously, it being in Game Pass, it would be an instant kind of home run. There would be a huge player base day one. And we have seen, I think somebody mentioned Outriders earlier on how Game Pass totally helped increase that player base. So sky's the limit, and I'm totally excited for the stuff I'm hearing.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to this quick super chat. Shout out to you, Dan, Dan the Man Cunningham, $5 super chat. He said, if Battlefield goes to Game Pass, don't be surprised to see Call of Duty align with PlayStation Network. As it is, Activision hates Game Pass. So that's a little nugget there to kind of wrap that topic up. But shout out to you, Dan, and I agree with you as well.
Warzone free to play?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see. This Battlefield is going to, if it does what it could do, things are gonna shift a little bit. But I'm just excited that we're getting another one, and it's gonna be a proper Battlefield game this time around. Things sound promising, but we'll have to wait and see. So I want to make sure I got to you first to begin with. I think we just mixed the order up. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And this one is a bit of a doozy. This is something that's been pretty decisive all week. It's something that we saw earlier this week. God of War, Gran Turismo, going to be cross-gen. Going to be on PS4 as well. They finally came out and said it, obviously after stating that they do believe in generations earlier. I believe it was last year at some point. Jim Ryan said that. Herman Helst came out recently and said, look, these games are also going to be on PS4 as well. Now, there's multiple different reasons. Logical reason as well. There's not as many PS4s out there in the wild as they would like. So we might as well go ahead and put it on the PS4. Now, some would argue they already had that in mind when they said they believe in generations, and I believe that they did. They just held off on saying it just publicly. So I just want to get you guys' opinion on just the idea of those games being cross-gen. We talked about the whole benefits and cross-gen doesn't hold anything back. We already decided that I don't think that's going to, the quality is not going to be an issue with those games. So I don't think that would be an issue, but just the whole idea that they said one thing, now we're getting something else. So we'll actually start with you on this one, Fastback, our guest here, man. What do you think? They came out, these first party games, some people thought were coming soon this year, are being pushed back as well as going to be on PS4.
Yeah, I agree with you that these games, no matter what, if they're on PS4 or not, they're still going to look good, either console. But I do feel like they misled gamers in the beginning and the messaging on the PS5. We want, because they were pushing PS5 sales, and they weren't up front on these. I think when they first showed Horizon Forbidden West, wasn't that one talked about being cross-gen in the beginning, but not Ragnarok or Gran Turismo? That they just kept hush hush about it, but they should have been up front in the beginning, because it wouldn't have hurt their sales. People want that. If people wanted to be on the PS5, the latest greatest, they still would have got the same amount of people buying them. So the mixed messaging coming from them is off, and they should be called out on it. And Jim Ryan should not be doing interviews anymore. Coming out and talking. They just need to let Herman Hurst do the talking going forward. This message that he just came out with, that should have been in the beginning. And some people won't like it. I get it, but the games are still going to look better and play better on PS5. So there's no big deal. And we're still early in this gen, right? It'll be a couple years before we start getting only this gen only games. So people just need to calm down and play these games. You'll be all right.
Awesome. Yeah, and once again, it's something that people are going to make a big deal out of. And the one thing I got from it, and that's why I stated that earlier, is the quality I don't think is going to be affected as far as the games. We're still going to get amazing games. God of War is going to be amazing. Gran Turismo probably is going to be amazing. Hopefully it is. So I don't think the quality is the issue, but it's the optics. Obviously, if you say one thing and then do the other, it's a bit facetious. You kind of did it injustice right after Xbox stated that they were going to be supporting Xbox, series Xbox One and the previous generation for the next couple years. It was kind of I kind of call it this gen's version of this is how you share games kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But obviously it was short-sighted. Hindsight is 2020. I'm sure he knew what the roadmap was. But ultimately, at the end of the day, these games are still going to be great, but I do agree that they should have said that from the jump. And anybody saying otherwise is just silly, because they should have just said it and nobody even would have been batted an eye about it, to be honest, because Xbox had already stated that they were going to do it. So
but Xbox got roasted about that,
they did. They're
going to be cross-gen, and everybody's like, oh, now Xbox One is holding back the Series X.
They did.
And here, just recently, you saw some media journalists say, "Hey, warning everybody, hey, I'm going to do some criticism on Sony about this, so don't hurt me." It's like, why? They do it all the time on Xbox, so why do they have to come out and make a statement like that? And say,
they got to pre-warn everybody.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother situation. But no, I agree that those are factual things. So I'm not even dismissing them, Fastback, for sure. Yeah. Those are actually factual. So let's go ahead and just throw this over to you, Pong. Get your opinion, man, on just what happened. I mean, this was kind of the roadmap from the beginning. Now, to be fair, there are interviews, or there's some information out there. They did state previously that this was something that they were looking at supporting for the next 3 to 4 years. I believe there's an article. I can't remember if it was Jim Ryan or Herman Hill stated that a few months. I don't know if it was this year. I believe like towards the end of last year. So maybe all of us didn't catch that. But I did believe that they stated that before they came out and said it this week or this past week. So go ahead, Pong.
Well, I mean, I think Jim could fix all this by just throwing a junior editor under the bus and saying they cut off the word "sometimes" at the end of his generation statement, and it was left on the cutting room floor by accident. And just fire somebody and call it a day. And obviously, Sony Nation would eat it up, and everything would be back to normal again. But no, seriously, nobody should be surprised. Again, people who are acting surprised are again, on the willfully ignorant side of things, if they don't understand Sony's MO and how they do business and how they do marketing, especially. This has been always something that they've done for years and years and years. And it is smoke and mirrors, and it is trickery. It is, using words to build hype, and then slyly moving on from those words and ignoring that you ever said them and just doing something else because most of your fan base is going to be okay with it and not speak out about it. But especially with God of War and obviously we knew about Forbidden West, both of those should not in any way, shape, or form be a surprise. Again, just from a timeline standpoint, these games have been in development. If you know anything about development, this was kind of planned from the beginning. It had to have been. And neither one of these games, we had already heard that Ragnarok was going to be DLC for the original God of War. And then they decided to shift focus and make it, content to be available during the PS5, launch, which obviously got pushed back due to COVID and all that kind of stuff as far as of when they were going to be able to time this out. I give props to Corey Balrog for coming out and falling on the sword for the company. He's a company guy through and through, and I appreciate him coming out and, taking that sword, saying that it was his decision. And of course, this had nothing to do with anything with the heads of Sony, pushing the issue to say that it was going to be 2021 at first. He did that. He said that it was it was all him and that he was going to, he made the mistake and it was his fault. So, props on him for doing that. That's what good company people do. And I definitely respect them for it. But at the same time, it's time for PlayStation Nation to start talking about it if they are truly upset. If they're not upset about this, then so be it. Just come to expect it. Now, the one caveat is GT, Gran Turismo. And Fuzzy, you're going to hear some of what I talked about this morning already on Living Split Screen. But Gran Turismo is a little strange for me. Number one, they flat out marketed that as a PS5 console exclusive. Okay, that marketing, those screenshots are out there. That was how they pushed it. They never officially set a 2021 release date. However, they put it in their trailer with games that were expected to be in 2021. So again, a little smoke and mirrors action, but the PS5 was in bold print. And for me, when you look at games that push new hardware and show it off the best, they are showpieces. One of them is your racers. Okay. Your racing sims always do that the best. And you always see them at the beginning of generations of hardware for that reason. They are quite simply one of the easiest genres to get up and running, put all the bells and whistles of your next generation hardware into, and wow everybody, right? Make it so that everybody wants to go out and buy it to show off their new console. And so I am a little surprised that Gran Turismo got pushed, or I shouldn't say got pushed, but it has now become a cross-gen game. It kind of shows a little white flag to me. I know Gran Turismo is still large in other parts of the world, but Forza obviously has taken the crown for some years now. And it's a little bit of white flag saying, you know what, we don't need to be the kings anymore. We don't need this game to necessarily be the showpiece that it always has been for our new console. We're just going to go ahead and try to get it into as many hands as possible, which makes sense. Sony needs the money. Obviously, PlayStation is their main staple. It is their main money source, so they need to push as many games out the door as they possibly can. And I believe that Ratchet and Clank being a PS5 only and that being the showpiece for the SSD and the hardware itself probably was a good reason. They probably sat back and said, we really don't need Gran Turismo to do this. But again, if you know anything about the dev process, and I don't know everything by any stretch of the imagination, but from what the little I do know, I know for a fact that obviously the PS4 version had to be in the works for a very long time. So for me, that's just kind of a white flag saying, hey, you know what, Forza Motorsport, and what Xbox is doing over there, they're going to make that their showpiece. They delayed it. They're pushing it out to 2022. So we're just going to get Gran Turismo at the same time, but we're going to offer to as many of our customers as possible by allowing it to be on PS4 as well. And so I think that is, again, for me, the surprising decision because Forza Motorsport being a next-gen only brand new engine built from the grounds up, we've heard some of the new stuff that they're putting into it, the new tech that they're putting into it, is going to blow people's minds. And it's going to be a true showpiece for the series consoles. I can't wait to see what they've got planned and what they come out with. So for me, that was the only little surprise there. But again, the rest of it, it is what it is, man. It's Sony. They're going to continue to do this stuff. They're going to continue to hype up their fan base. But nobody should have expected God of War this year.
Yeah, no.
There was no way it was going to make it.
Yeah.
And Gran Turismo, if you know anything about their development cycles and you've played their games in the past, that I always Fuzzy, help me out. How do you pronounce the dev teams for Gran Turismo?
Polyphony. I call it polyphony.
Yeah,
polyphony.
I know.
Polyphony, I believe it is.
Polyphony?
Yeah.
Is it polyphony? Okay. I could never do that right. But polyphony, their history is they take a long time to get their games out, right? So it always has been that way with Gran Turismo. They always never hit their marks. Sony has a release date for it, and they come out and say, yeah, no, we're not really going to hit that date this time around. So, again, that for me wasn't a big surprise that got pushed to 2022 at all.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to let you guys know, Chad, is that we're not harping on. We just key in. We're not talking about quality of the games here. So we're not saying that these games are going to be bad. No. They're going to be
These are going to come out look gorgeous.
Exactly.
Look at Forbidden West. My God, that thing looks beautiful.
If that's any indication of the quality of these games, we're still going to see what we should see. But once again, the optics, the way these things are presented, before you sit down and eat your meal, they put together your plate a certain way, so it's pleasurable to your eye before you start eating. So that's kind of where we're going with all of this, But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think the games are still going to be phenomenal. I 100% think you're right. I mean, I don't think none of us, I don't know anybody that actually thought God of War was coming this year. Shout out to Delilah. She actually did from GWG. She thought the game was coming this year. She had your idea, Fuzz. I'll talk to you about that after the show. But either way, matter of fact, great segue. Let's throw this over to you, Fuzz, because let's get your opinion on, what we heard from Sony and, just the optics and, just where you at with it.
I'm shocked as a PS5 owner. I am shocked with these delays.
Shut the hell up.
Okay, Fuzzy.
All
right.
Oh my goodness.
I just knew that God of War was going to be like a DLC type thing, like Miles Morales. No, I can't say this with a straight face.
Did you burn your Jim Ryan picture, Fuzzy?
Throw it in the oven.
Jersey, what are you talking
about? But with God of War, everybody except for me and a few other people thought it was going to be delayed anyway. I kind of just thought it was going to be an extension of the original game. So I figured it was going to be a faster turnaround process compared to, some of the other games in their pipeline.
It still could be, though. We're not ruling that out for us. That doesn't mean it's going to be some full standalone game. Now, I do think it will be, but that doesn't mean it's not either.
Yeah. Like after playing the original 2018 God of War, I just kind of figured that, hey, this will be an extension. They kind of were working on it since then. This was like the DLC that we didn't get. Plus, they'll, pretty it up a good bit considering how they did the 60 frames on the PS5 for the 2018 version. It was going to look fantastic. But, it's something they'll get delayed. And I don't blame them for the fact that, why shoot all your bullets out your gun now before you see what Xbox is doing and before you know how many PS5s are going to be in people's houses as opposed to scalper basements. But that's a whole nother story. Looking at Gran Turismo, I'm disappointed. I'm going to be honest. I'm a Gran Turismo fan, not over Forza because, after Drive Club and me finding out of what Forza, it was supposed to be a Forza killer and actually playing Forza. That's the king as far as I'm concerned now. And I know a lot of people will be like, whoa, the graphics and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. If you're going to take photos, Gran Turismo is awesome. If you're going to look at the graphics while driving, I call Forza the much better game, but that's just my personal view on it. But all things aside, it should have been a PS5 game only, considering that, Xbox is going to do the same thing with Motorsport or Motorsport 8. I'm assuming they're just going to make it Motorsport this go around. But that one's geared to be next gen. Now, there is a little bit of worry in the back of my mind because I know they are doing the beta testing now, and a lot of that beta testing is on Xbox Ones. And provided that it works well on those, we could see it on there. But I'm pushing for, like kind of like what Pong Soul said, when you have new hardware, a lot of times your racers are your showpieces to show what the console is capable of. Perfect example, if you look at Motorsport 7 on the Xbox One, it looked great. On the Xbox One X, on the other hand, it looked phenomenal. Between the HDR, being in 4K, being 60 frames, all the bells and whistles turned on. I mean, yeah, it didn't have ray tracing, but it had a lot of screen space reflections and reflections on the cars. And it was just, for what the hardware could do, it was a sight to see. And I expect to see the same type of, showpiece level quality out of Forza Motorsport on the X Series or Xbox Series X. But kind of disappointed Gran Turismo is not going to do that. I mean, GT Sport came out in 2017. It's got about 400 cars, which I'm gonna be honest, if you look at like what they were doing on PS2s when they had 600 to 800 cars, and Forza's churning out 700 to 900 cars. I mean, come on, why are you taking so long? I know it's polyphony is like slow at best, but it's a bit frustrating, but it's to be expected because hey, I bought a PS3 and I remember waiting for, Gran Turismo 6, and I don't think it came out until the PS4 came out. So that was a bit strange to me, but yeah, cross-gen, we had our conversation about that last week.
Yeah, that's not even
and I had my little mini rant and poked fun at all the people that are like, oh, these, last gen consoles are holding things back. I mean, okay. Yes, you can. If your game is from the ground up made for the next gen console with an SSD, putting it on the previous gen is going to be, a little bit of an issue as far as loading and stuff like that. But in the grand scheme of things, as far as the looks and what we're going to see for the next couple of years, cross-gen makes sense. Now, if Sony had a backbone, it would have been nice for them to not say stupid stuff like, oh, we believe in generations, while their competition's getting lambasted about, saying that they're going to do cross-gen. Have some excuse my language, have balls and at least own that you're going to do the cross-gen stuff and don't lie to your customers, because it was a lie. I don't care how you want to construe his words. It was a lie. And any Sony PlayStation fan out there that's going to say otherwise, I don't want to hear boo out of you as far as when other people are doing, damage control, because this is nothing but damage control. There's no other way to put it, but that's enough of my rant. The games are going to be fine. I'm still looking forward to Gran Turismo 7. A little disappointed, but aside from that, PlayStation guys, stand up and at least tell your company, stop lying and be honest about it. That's all I got.
You mean
Y'all got Fuzz in a different space this week, man. Holy moly. Fuzz, you got your chamomile tea over there?
Yeah, but I just look at it this way. It's kind of like in the words of King David over at the Iron Lords, throw that thing in the bushes. You don't need it. Like they've been telling Xbox dudes, you don't need an Xbox Series X or an Xbox One X to play your games. Why the F do you need a PS5 then? Oh, that's right. Ratchet and Clank.
God, he said
he is
whoa, fuzzy, fuzzy.
Wait.
Whoa. We got Fuzzy quoting
All the
King
show
David
now,
over here throwing the F bombs out here.
Bend the knees.
Woo.
Oh my goodness gracious. Stag, you up next, man. Good luck.
We're about to drop F bombs.
I'm scared, dude. Fuzzy might yell at me. What are we even talking about?
Anytime you want.
Thanks PlayStation for making it so I had even less reasons to buy a PS5, because now I can play the next God of War on my PS4. Super stoked about that. I have a ton of stuff to play on my PS4, so buying a PS5 makes no sense for me. There hasn't been excuse me, sorry, I just ate. I do want to play Returnal, but one game's not enough for me to buy a whole console. Of course, I buy a Series X, and I'm still trying to justify that since I'm playing on my One X all the time. But whatever, dude. What was the question?
No, just the cross gen and them initially saying they didn't believe in generations.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I've mocked the shit out of them for that whole "we believe in generations" thing. And it's not that I don't like PlayStation, but it's just like Fuzz said. I mean, like, be upfront, and I mean, get off. Like Fuzzy said, stand up, PlayStation fans. I want to see that same energy from them, but it's just like they just keep cupping their nuts and like, it's okay, Sony. Just put your little eggs in my hands and I'll hold them for you. It's fucking ridiculous how like much they just eat up everything they hand them, and they're not critical of that company. Like they're super critical of Xbox, but like everything, like I want to see critical. I want to see that same energy. And like I said, like I'll be playing the new God of War on my PS4 Pro, and I'm okay with that because frankly, the graphics still look really good on it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with the One X or the PS4 Pro. I mean, Series X, when I loaded up, Andromeda blew my freaking mind because I just stared at my TV for like 20 minutes straight, and I was just like, couldn't even play. I was just like, oh my god! And I would expect that Ratchet and Clank and Returnal and some other games that are on the PS5 look amazing as well. But as of right now, I have no reason to buy a PS5. They clearly I don't want to be like they lied. They definitely had mixed messaging, and it might have not have just been like mixed. What they told us might have been their plan, and then things changed. Like a lot of this stuff too is like they can't make consoles right now. Nobody they can't even make cars right now. Because there's just like there's a silicone shortage. That's the long and the short of it.
Yeah.
So like I think they kind of maybe had to backtrack on that plan a little bit and be like, one thing I did see in chat was not only do they have to backtrack because they can't make enough consoles to then build games for, so they have to make them cross-gen because they have 100 million people that own a PlayStation 4, and those 100 million people can't get their hands on a PS5 right now. So they're like, how do we maximize our dollar? That's how you maximize your dollar, right? In a way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You make the game cross-gen. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that because I'm wrong a lot. So.
No, from a business standpoint, I think we all are in agreement. It's not necessarily it's not a bad thing, and that's the whole point we're trying to say, and that's why it's so frustrating to even talk about, because you could have just said that there was nothing wrong with just saying, hey, we're just gonna put all of these on PS4 too. Like there's nothing wrong with that at all, and I doubt they would have got very much. I mean, they got some flack, but they still wouldn't get a tenth of the flack that Xbox got for saying the same thing. And Xbox was very transparent day one right out the gate about it. But I don't even want to turn it into one message versus the other. Ultimately, at the end of the day, quality is not going to be a problem. None of us have said that, as well as it's just the optics. You got to be honest, as well as, like you said, if you want to come out and say there's no reason to purchase a Series X or S at this particular point in time, the truth of the matter is the fact that those three games, the main reason I hear and I see on my timeline people are purchasing, and that's why they play their PlayStation 5s, those are the reasons, those exclusives. If they're not going to be just on PS5, then yeah, there's really not much of a reason to buy one either right now. And if that's the truth of the matter. So I think that's where we're getting at. Chat, let us know how you feel about that. We're wrong, we're right, indifferent, whatever the case may be. But I agree with you, Stag, 100% for sure. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you.
Write that shit down. That doesn't happen often.
Oh, no, yeah. go ahead, Centurion. It's on you, bro.
Well, I don't know if I can match the energy of Fuzzy. Oh, man, I almost wanted to go get my wife and be like, he's yelling.
Hold me.
Huh? Hold me.
Hold
oh
me.
my god, I'm scared. Fuzzy's yelling.
Too much fuzz.
Anyways, so short and sweet, man. This whole situation, I can't. I have my own opinion because that's where I can't. A game just does not happen to be cross-gen, especially right now with what we talked about, the difference between technically normal SSDs and NVMe. So I just feel like when it comes to Gran Turismo, because regretfully, I never fed into God of War being 2021 or even exclusive to the PS5. I was shocked that they were talking about it already. And I remember all the jokes when everybody was like, yeah, when they showed that 2021 date, that was just going to be the next update. No, it wasn't the actual release of the game. It was going to be the next update on when we're going to get the game. So when it comes to Gran Turismo, though, they had to make that decision. I feel like they, at least in my opinion, left the door open because we're seeing Sony showing a lot of interest in the PC market. And when you start locking these games down to these nicer hard drives, you kind of start cutting away at your customer base. And I'm not going to say either one of these companies foresaw there being shortages and stuff like that. But I just really want to say that we notice, or at least I noticed, that Sony seems to be a lot more interested, more than usual, in the PC market and putting stuff on PC. And so therefore, I don't know if they're fully in or not, but maybe they wanted to leave that door open for the PC market, which left the door open for this game to all of a sudden become cross-gen, because they were like, well, it's made on the old architecture hard drives, so it could technically scale and we can put it on older hardware. So maybe they made the decision to use that fact and actually decide to all of a sudden make the game cross-gen because they wanted to leave that door open in the first place. So that's where I just feel like this didn't just happen. This is something that a decision that had to be made when it comes to actually building the game.
And to put some timeline on this, to Centurion, shout out to Uncle Mike in the chat from MLG. He did say that Sony did mention this whole being, still supporting cross-gen at their last investors meeting last year. So I don't know. I don't really keep up with that in that detail, but maybe it was mentioned way earlier as well. We glossed over it as well. But go ahead. I just wanted to put some context on all of this.
No, well, let's just really mention it for a second. We see right now Microsoft is banking on the fact that they have been invested in backwards compatibility and cross-gen compatibility since pretty much like 2014. Where they really figured out backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. And I just really feel like they are now getting the fruits of their labor because they are already set up for this. They didn't have to worry about oh my God, how are we going to get consoles in people's hands? They were more concerned about trying to put games in people's hands versus consoles. And we're all seeing now that even 100 million sold is nothing more than consoles in someone's hands. And when a company aims for that, what do you do when you get in a situation where all of a sudden there's a shortage of consoles? That's why I just love how Microsoft has been laser focused with making sure that they respect our purchases. They want games to be able to be carried forward. And just in case, if you can't afford it, play on an older system. And that has totally benefited Microsoft greatly. And I really think that I'm not saying that Sony has to copy Microsoft, but I really do feel that Sony is now seeing that maybe that their stance of, Sacred Gardens and making sure that they, make people feel that for some reason by forbidding another person to play a game somehow benefits you. They're leaving money on the table. Same.
No, I so there's that whole business model angle as well that they're leaving a ton of, and it's true they are. I mean, that's a lot of PlayStation 4 sitting out there that people are still playing on, especially with the PS5s being so hard to come by. So it makes, from a business standpoint, I don't even fault what they did because it just makes logical sense. You don't have as many PS4s as you would like. You probably have half as many as you would normally have in, under normal circumstances. So you might as well take advantage of the people still playing on those PS4s. But once again, it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky situation.
Well, actually, just to kind of because I read Shansu's comment here in the chat, and yeah, we're all talking about why is Sony not being called out for some of these things. We're talking about lying about games that are cross-platform, and the big nail, in my opinion, is what the hell is going on with the expanded storage situation.
Man, listen,
dude. I'm just trying to say. Well, I'm just wanting to be if Microsoft over here gets analyzed by like a team of people with microscopes. Everything Phil Spencer says has to be put under a microscope. But like for some reason, it's just like, hey, can we talk about the like PlayStation NVMe situation? And it's like you're like at that moment in the White House where the press secretary is like, hey, you sit down. Why'd you ask that question? You sit down. You're not allowed to ask that.
So that's a whole. We could do a whole another show on that, and I asked about that on Twitter, but we'll keep it moving. But that was a good topic, everybody, just to get our opinions out on that, because it's been really something that's been talked about a lot this week. So let's keep it moving on to our next topic here, probably our last one of the show, man. We're gonna be talking a little bit about E3. Obviously, we're not going to dive too much into it because next week's show is going to be just only E3 stuff as we gear up for that. But we're going to talk. We got the schedules. The ESA released the schedules yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and just read through the schedules for the 4-day event, essentially. So we got Saturday, June 12th, Ubisoft starting getting us kicked off, then Gearbox after that. And then Sunday, June 13th, we got Microsoft Bethesda early day 2, Square Enix after that, PC Game Show after that, WB Games closing out Sunday, and then Monday is Take-Two, and then Capcom Tuesday, Nintendo and Bandai closing things out. So just with the lineup, we'll start with you, Fastback. Any surprises just with the lineup, who's going first and who's going to win? Obviously, Sony not being there at all is extremely surprising, but just where are you at just with the order of things?
Actually, I'm not surprised Sony's not going to be there.
Well, yeah, we knew that. We knew that.
Yeah, past couple of years, right?
Yeah.
But actually, see, well, today we had Guerrilla Collective Showcase, and then they're going to do a part 2 next Saturday also.
Okay. Okay.
And that'll be before the Ubisoft one. So that's an early one. No, I really don't see no surprise. I'm curious what Gearbox is going to be showing, right? I mean, have they had a presentation like this before?
I don't think Gearbox has ever had their own. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. I don't believe Gearbox has ever had their own show, from what I recall.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
And then we come into Sunday, and of course, everybody's excited for Xbox Bethesda. I can't wait for that. Square Enix Future Game Show. That's another one that is very good. They show good indie games, and they also show others too. So on there, you see, a diverse lineup from either Xbox, PlayStation, and so on. Nintendo, maybe. Well, maybe not Nintendo, but curious what the PC game is. Those are okay. But other than that, I Take-Two. That's another one that I haven't seen they've done anything independent. And then you got Capcom. I don't know what Mythical Games presentation. I don't know what that is. And you got Freedom Games too. So, and then Verizon. What's Verizon gonna? Are they doing a? Is this Verizon the phone service? I don't know. What Nintendo's on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, the last day.
So, yeah, that's weird. So what's on Monday?
Take-Two and Capcom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So no, I mean this looks good, and I'm curious. Some of these they're gonna be part of E3, but are they also part of
Summer Games Fest as well? Yes.
Right? Is that like a dual setup that they're doing? They're gonna be presenting on both. Yeah.
So the Summer Games Fest starts on the 10th, I believe, a couple days before E3 officially gets kicked off.
Okay. Yeah, and they have some little pre-show. Yeah.
They'll have some big announcements at Summer Game Fest too. I think you said like 10 or 12 unannounced.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. Yeah, look forward to that. But no, I can't wait. I'm just glad that last year was kind of a disaster with the whole COVID and everything, setting back everybody, and really I didn't think the virtual events last year were all that great. Across the board. I think the Guerrilla Games and Future Games, I think indie games were shown better last year to how they put that together, and I think we're gonna see that still going on now. So I'm curious to see how E3 will handle it. Who's hosting the E3 stuff? Is it Greg?
Greg's. It's like 3 different people. Greg, another guy. It's 2 other people with him hosting. I don't remember the specific. I know he's part of it though.
And of course, Keeley's the Summer Games.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing. Yeah.
And you know who I would like to see? Xbox. I wish they would get Jessica Chobot you know.
Yeah, or
Peter
Sess or Adam Sessler
I
would be
know.
cool.
Yeah, just I really didn't care for how they handled that last year. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'd be curious. I can't wait. So
All right, cool. So we'll actually mix up the order here a little bit. We'll go ahead and go with you on this one, Fuzz, of just about the order. You know, that list and who's going what day. Any surprises there, or do you think there's going to be anything going on based on the order that you're looking at?
No swearing, Fuzz. No swearing.
You cooled down now.
No, I'm most curious about WB. Although I forget what somebody was saying that they already announced what they were going to talk about or something. But I'm most curious, just considering their whole recent shake up and whatnot. But outside of that, I'm definitely looking forward to what's going to be on Sunday. Yes, I wish Sony was there in some capacity, and I'm assuming with
they might be. They
with,
might be a little
with
bit.
Bandai Namco, they might show some stuff. I know that there was the one game that they had like the marketing rights for, as far as the I keep on wanting to call it Project X, but it was like where you look like you were on Earth, but you were actually in some sort of like simulation moon location thing. I forget what it's called. It's like something with a P. But anyway, I would just like to see if WB is going to make any additional announcements, considering or if we hear anything special about WB. But outside of that, just really looking forward to what's on Sunday, and if Nintendo is going to actually talk about the Switch Pro. That's the other thing. But other than that, Summer Game Fest, I'm looking forward to that too. But E3 more so than the Game Fest thing.
And one thing I want to say, Fuzz, before you continue here, can we all just admit that E3 is vital? We need E3 because the drip feed we got last year just didn't quench, I think, majority of our thirst. I mean, it was kind of last minute, and we do understand that they kind of had to throw everything together because everything was just all up in the air last year. But we're used to getting this all within a period of time, and I think that's how most people enjoy to consume the information. Although a nice mix with Summer Games Fest is going to be nice, we'll probably get almost a month worth of like news, like just about 2/3 of June will be all gaming news. So I think they can do great with the mix. But I think us having an official E3 back, like in a focused event for 3 to 4 days where we could just fucking geek out as gamers. It's just it's the medicine I needed for sure, and I didn't realize I needed it until they officially announced it was coming back.
No, agreed on that, because the way it was last year, it was nice and annoying all in the same breath. This more concise, although I know like E3 or not E3, EA is a little bit of an outlier, and there's a couple of other ones that are a little bit later on, like July and August and stuff, but. For the month of June, or at least for this upcoming week, it's nice to have a lot of these kind of within, that week span. So definitely looking forward to that.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get your opinion, Pong. Just on the lineup, man. When they drop the lineup, anything kind of stick out for you?
Not really. Not a whole lot of. I guess the order really doesn't matter to me. Obviously Nintendo kind of ending Tuesday with another big one after Xbox does theirs is kind of a sweet deal. Ubisoft going on Saturday before Microsoft. That one, again, we're going to see a lot of Far Cry. It'll be interesting to see, obviously coming out of that show and rolling into Sunday, if they save a couple things for Microsoft stage, if Microsoft has a couple announcements with Ubisoft. And it'll be interesting to see if we see any hints at that on Saturday. Obviously, we got the Take-Two leaks earlier this week. So we kind of know Gearbox is probably going to show off Tina's Wonderlands, which is going to be a spin-off game with Tiny Tina from Borderlands. Chances are that's what Gearbox probably will be showing off at that point. Maybe they have a new game that they've been working on as well that nobody's aware of that they might give a teaser to. Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. And then obviously with Take-Two, I heard their presentation. They're doing a diversity and something else presentation. It'll be interesting to see if they actually come with any other games. We now know from the leak that Firaxis, obviously the makers of XCOM, do have a new strategy game that's going to use the Marvel universe characters. So that would be pretty cool. I'm a big XCOM fan. If it's not just the Avengers and they include some, maybe X-Men and stuff in there, I'll definitely be hyped for that one. That would be pretty sweet to see. We also know that the Mafia team is working on a supposedly new game. Kind of a Saints Row style meets Chulu kind of game. So that would be, I'm curious to hear about that one.
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of cool, but obviously everybody is talking about Sunday because Sunday's the big show. And that's not just, I think it's just from a standpoint, again, because we know kind of what we're gonna get from Nintendo. Nintendo could surprise. Now they set expectations and said they're only showing Switch software, right? But we've heard about the Switch Pro. There was smoke flying around that they were going to talk about it before E3. Now that hasn't happened, and a lot of people have said that it's not going to happen this week since we're on top of E3. So it would be kind of curious if Nintendo's kind of pulling a bait and switch here, lowering expectations, and then come out with a bang on Tuesday and announce the Switch Pro to the world and blow everybody's minds. It would be kind of un-Nintendo like, but at the same time, it would be kind of in their wheelhouse because they're going to do it their way when they want to do it. And maybe their plan all along was to do it during E3. And they just kind of threw out some mixed signals to kind of get everybody kind of expecting it and then not expecting it. And then saying, well, we're just going to show off, Switch software. And then bam, there it is. Switch Pro on stage, E3, biggest event that we've had in a long time for gaming. Why not? Why not kind of, go outside the box?
Hello. That's a hell of a way to say hello.
Exactly, and get everybody hyped because it's supposed to be ready to rock and roll. I mean, all reports are that it's coming this year. So that would definitely steal the show. I mean, depending on what Xbox does on Sunday, it would definitely, because they're the two big players here.
That's really
without Sony. So that would be kind of. It would not be Nintendo like, but it would be just because they would be doing it on their terms, how they wanted it to get done. So that could be a big time deal on Tuesday if they wind up doing something like that. But again, Sunday's going to be main focus. Xbox, I'm expecting them to drop bombs. Again, my hype's through the roof. I expect it to, I know some people have been downplaying it. I'm not tempering my expectations in any way, shape, or form. I expect Microsoft to lay it out. I don't expect them to give everything, even though if I was Phil, I would drop everything and just walk off the stage and nuke the world and be, hey, try to top us right now, okay? But I don't think that's how they're going to do it, but I definitely think they've got some surprises lined up for us. I think there are some things that have been kept from the insiders. I don't think we know everything that we're going to see there, and I think that's going to be the day that everybody's talking about is Sunday.
There's almost 100% sure. There's almost 100% chance we don't know everything is going to be seen. It's almost 100% for me, at least. I fully expect there's going to be a couple things that we didn't see coming or just didn't know about in general. Now, the magnitude of those things remain to be seen, but I guess we'll see very soon. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion on just the lineup here. When they drop the schedule, anything stick out for you?
I don't want to say nothing really stuck out for me. I'm excited for every one of the shows that are going to be appearing. I'm glad to see that E3 is, I don't want to say making a comeback, but at least wanting to make their presence feel known. Everybody, because there was a mention of PlayStation earlier about, was it shocking that PlayStation was not there? No, not really. I feel like they've kind of made their decision on E3 a long time ago. I think, isn't there like a state of play showing up sometime after the show?
Is there? I haven't heard anything about a state of play. Have they announced something? Chad, have they announced
one of the people I follow on Twitter's made a comment about there being some kind of state, basically a state of play after E3 is still not an E3 event.
It's like July, right? Something in July. Oh, no.
So
I haven't heard. Let us know, Chad, if you guys have heard anything about a state of play for Sony during E3 week.
No,
right, and that's where
July, August time for them, I think.
Oh,
yeah, I
that's
think
right.
I saw
We're gonna
something
do it out
end
of
of
that.
July. End of July, I think is what I saw possibly.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen anything, so I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Nothing
Centil.
official. Nothing official.
So I'm just I don't ever get my speculations up. I don't ever get my hopes up for E3 because I don't know. I've just ever been a big fan of the E3 rumor mill. Every time this year we kind of see all this stuff from all directions of the industry, and I just like to sit back and kind of let the news flow my way. I watch Twitter, I watch social media, but the more closer we get to E3, I think a lot of us actually start kind of shutting off our phones and stuff and our social media because we don't want to have nothing ruined,
It's
honestly.
futile, but I try.
Heck no. I want to see all the Christmas gifts. I'm the
I wanna
kid that's
see all the
searching for my Christmas gifts. I
I
want it all.
try. I
And all of a
definitely
sudden,
try.
and I guess Pong Soul walks in the room. Jim Ryan's an a-hole. I mean, not Jim Ryan. Oh my God.
Wow.
What's his name?
Where are you going with this?
No. Oh my God. The guy doing Summer of Games.
Oh,
Jeff Keighley?
Jeff, that guy. You know, just be like, oh man, he's an a-hole. You just ruined something. Because when Jeff Keighley revealed the price of the Xbox before Xbox even got the chance,
I'm all about it.
I have to laugh about that.
Spoil it all.
Spill it all, really?
Yeah, you definitely can't be no damn CEO. Please don't ever.
I would be the worst ever. I tweet out everything.
I make jokes saying like, you know, anything that you don't want nothing leaked, you got to kind of rope it off from Jeff Keighley at these events. Like, yeah, Jeff, you're not allowed over there. You can't go over there. You can't seem to keep your phone in your pocket. You're always taking photos. Yeah. So no, I'm one of those people that don't want to have the fun ruined. I like tuning in with everybody here, hanging out with the homies, and just watching E3. That's actually one of my fondest moments of actually E3 was being invited by PTK here. I wasn't even part of the show yet, and he was, hey, you want to hang out with me and Fuzzy and who else was there?
I think it was
Gaming Forte.
Yeah,
and I was just like, really? I can hang out with you guys and watch E3, and it was an absolute blast.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Those are the memories for me.
But that's what E3 is about. And ultimately, just before I let Stag go here, just my 2 cents as far as the lineup. I'm not surprised. Nintendo is interesting, obviously, with the whole rumors swirling about new hardware. Just about anything Nintendo does is going to be big. I Breath of the Wild 2, a Metroid, anything like that's going to happen. Hopefully they can deliver. They are focused. They did say they're going to be focusing on just Switch games. They didn't say what Switch though. Switch games can mean anything. So we'll see where that goes. Microsoft, obviously, Nintendo, the big ones. Bandai, interesting. Are we going to see Elden Ring at fucking all? I know Jeff Keighley. Didn't somebody tweet to Jeff about some kind of 8 days or something like that till we see something? A dev at
video possibly.
Yeah, or something like that. Maybe a new trailer is going to come out. So I'd like to see that damn unicorn because we haven't heard anything about it since we first saw it.
Actually, there is one thing you just reminded me of. I didn't mean to interrupt, but there is one. I have one wish. You just reminded me of a wish. I just want a camera on Jeff Keighley when Hideo Kojima walks out on stage with Phil Spencer. I just want a camera on Keighley.
They're going to save that for the Game Awards. They're going to save it for that and do it on his stage.
Biting his finger like, oh my God, he's here.
They would break up.
Oh, stop. We're not messy like that.
Just give Keighley a DualSense to blow on. He'll be fine.
Look, Fuzzy summoned the spirit of King David, so we're getting messy. All right, PTK, right? This is how this works.
Shout out to David,
oh my
man.
God, that is hilarious. I am stealing that. Somebody give him a DualSense to blow on. Are you kidding me?
Too much. We're not doing this with Jeff. Leave Jeff. No, we're not.
Well, wait a minute. While he's blowing on it, I want him in front of a Doritos ad.
Yeah. So shout out to 3-Bit. He said pretty sure Elden Ring will be at Summer Game. I heard that as well from multiple different people. So I fully expect us to see at least another trailer, maybe some gameplay. I think it's one of those 12, 13 unannounced games Jeff was not unannounced, but games Jeff was talking about. So hopefully we'll see that. But go ahead, Stag. Want to get to you, bro, just about just the event in general and the E3 schedule, what you're looking forward to. Unless he's eating.
I have just got my socks knocked.
No, I just wasn't saying anything.
Oh,
okay.
Everything that they're going to show, nothing really stood out to me on the list. I mean, when Pong said that, I was like, hey, me too. It looks like a freaking E3 schedule, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Man, even when I went, I wasn't like, oh, I hope this happens. I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, what happens, and I'll hear about it after the fact because I don't watch that shit live because I can fast forward past the stupid talkie bullshit on my own time. I hate the filler stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's like commercials. I don't like it. I want to just give me the meat and potatoes. So yeah, I'll be on Twitter and everybody will be saying stuff and I'll be like, God damn it, I'll watch that later. God damn it, I'll watch that later. But everyone will be like, oh, did you see that trailer for what and what? And I'll be like, what game? What? Oh, I'll watch that later. But no, I mean, like, it's cool that they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and it's cool that gamers are super hyped about it and apparently like it more than Christmas. But fuck you, I want my Christmas presents. So at Christmas time, I'm a selfish little prick. I want lots of presents, and my wife's this year like, you know what? We spent too much on Christmas last year. We should not do Christmas this year. And I about fainted. So, but no, super excited to see what's coming up from all the companies. Most of the companies.
Oh, stop it! See, look, they're gonna show stuff too. They're not gonna be there, but we'll see some stuff from Sony for
Are
sure.
they? You guys were just debating that they haven't said anything yet or not, or if they have, I don't know.
They're gonna have a
blog
flare.
post.
They're gonna have a blog. I was gonna say they're gonna have a flare tent set up out in the parking lot.
No,
we'll
I'm dude. Everybody knows I play on everything. I just like to give Sony a little bit of that heat because of the heat that Xbox gets.
Yeah, no,
And I do
feel you.
appreciate play. Shit, the first goddamn console I bought on my own was a PlayStation 1 when I was 18. So I mean,
let me ask you a question, Stag. Can I ask you a question? So,
yeah, go ahead.
what so how long after do you think Sony's going to do their show? You think they're going to wait until everything is over till after the 15th to say, hey, now we're going to do our show, or you think it'll be in between, or just kind of you think they'll make some kind of announcement right after?
They really do kind of like to steal back or preemptively steal the, I hate saying this, the Xbox mindshare. You know what I mean? Like they did it when I was at E3 19. They did it then too. Like Xbox did their thing, and then bam, or it was right before they did their thing, and they did it again last year. It's just kind of, and that's good business. I understand it, but they went, okay, cool. Now we're gonna distract everybody and say our thing. So, man, the position they're in is weird right now. I mean, Matt was talking about it in chat how they're a little bit behind right now, and I mean, I always feel like a little bit that Sony has followed some trends. I was thinking about it while y'all were talking, like in the comparison of how indie games take risks and do things that AAA studios can't do. It's almost like sometimes Xbox takes those risks and does things that Sony's unwilling to put the money out for, and then they see that Xbox can do it, and it's fans like it, and then they do it, and then it's fucking the best thing ever. So. And I'm saying the best thing ever because it's almost like a fan base forgets that Xbox does innovate. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
So who knows, man? They'll probably, I don't know. They'll probably do something that week, but I don't, dude. This is why I'm only on this podcast. I don't know anything.
So I'm gonna ask the chat before we get off of here. How long do you think it's gonna take Sony before they announce their event? Do you think it's gonna take them? They're gonna let everything die down after the 15th? And I want to go around here real quick on the panel. I asked Stag, but we'll go with you, Fastback. How long do you think it's gonna take Sony to announce their event? You think they're gonna wait till Xbox goes then announce, or they're gonna wait till the entire E3 is over?
I could see them dropping something maybe Saturday or Friday just to kind of, or around the same time that Xbox show is going, and they drop something to kind of take some of that mind share away from Xbox.
They can't allow those 100 million console owners to not hear some news.
That's true.
They'll talk about, we went from 7.5 million PS5 to 8 million PS5s.
I can see that happening too. I mean, it may not be an announcement of the event, although I fully expect it to be. This is when our event's happening, because I think that's going to be that's going to garner the most attention, is them dropping the date and time on when they're going to actually do their event this summer. So, but it could be anything else. It could be sales numbers. It could be how many copies, blah blah blah, sold. But I want to keep it going here, Fuzz. So you said Where are you at on that? Right after, during E3 week, or right after E3 is over?
I think they'll do some sort of blog post on sales numbers during E3. Like they'll probably be like, "Oh, Returnal is now at 5 million copies," or we freed some PS5s from scalper basements. Just some random number related stuff so their fans can share, sales as opposed to games. But that's my guess.
All right, go ahead, Pong. It's on you, man. During E3, like after Xbox, before Xbox, or like they're gonna wait till the entire event's over?
They wouldn't until the entire event's over. I think Sony's still playing from a position of perceived power at this point, and I think they are playing by their own rules. So it really is going to come down to what they actually have to show. They've already shown a lot. They with Returnal's launch, and then now with Ratchet and Clank right around the corner here, and then showing off Forbidden West. What else do they really have? We've seen Kena. We've seen a ton of Kena, right? We've seen some of the smaller stuff throughout the end of last year, the beginning of this year. So what do they have left? If God of War is pushed to 2022, possibly later, in the fall, coming into holiday, they might have something to show from God of War, and maybe do another state of play where they spotlight that and give that a little bit of airtime to get everybody kind of excited rolling into 2022. But Forbidden West right now is on the edge of whether or not they're going to make the 2021 hit for holiday. So again, what does Sony out? What else do they have to show?
They have a lot of third party still.
They do, but they do. But is it good for this year? That's the question. Sony, with the position that they're in, and
does
with
it
the
matter though?
It doesn't. But I'm saying from where they sit, do they have to show anything early? Right? Do they have to show anything early this year? Can they show something towards the end of the year? Could they roll into holiday? Knowing if Forbidden West, let's say, is going to hit holiday, right? And they know that they've got that locked. Okay, that covers them for holiday. So with the way things are, with the way consoles are scarce to completely unavailable at this point, do they have to show their hand at all? Do they have to tip it? They could do a state of play later this year and then talk about third-party deals they got coming for next year. We know Final Fantasy 16 isn't going to hit this year. Chances are that's a 2022 release. Forspoken is 2022. We know that for a fact. So what other deals? Unless they cut something else for this year and want to make a big announcement out of it.
So are you implying they either don't have enough to show, or they don't? Are you just saying they don't necessarily need to?
They don't need to.
Okay.
Let's put it that they're still selling at a pace that's greater than PlayStation 4 is, even despite the lack of availability on the consoles, right? So from Jim Ryan's perspective, what does he have to gain? What does he have to do? Again, unless there's something big that happens, again, Microsoft could. I mean, again, if they drop the right bombs here, it could make Sony a little nervous and they maybe open up a little bit. But right now, it's a controlled presence that Sony's doing, and they do this all the time. They know how to do this marketing thing. That's one thing they are great at doing. And their fan base is solid right now. They have no worries. They're not losing any mind share at this point. Yes, Microsoft is gaining some, but they're not really losing any. Especially when you look at what's going on with the media and what everybody's talking about, people are still trying to hunt down PlayStation 5 left and right. So I just think this is a controlled kind of situation where Jim's going to dictate when and where they show their hands, and unless they need to, I think they keep at this point, now that they've got exclusives out, right? They've got games out there. I don't think that they necessarily show that hand until they're ready. That's all.
No, I agree. I don't think there's an emphasis on them showing anything either, but that's why we haven't gotten an announcement. I don't know how much pressure there is on them to say, hey, this is when the event's going to be. No. I think it greatly benefits them if they do have. It's not going to hurt if they have stuff to show.
No, it's not going to hurt. But again, if they want to hold it, because Forbidden West was kind of their E3 thing, right? That was a big showing. Now, again, I think it was probably disappointing for them. They couldn't say that it was 2021 for sure, or 2021 for sure. I think that was kind of a miss. I think they kind of waited on that to try to see if they could lock it down. But obviously, with everything going on, that just wasn't possible. But I think that was kind of their E3 kind of show up. Now, again, they are partnered with Summer Games Fest in Keeley. So they might have something else in there. They might have a third party, obviously, that they actually have a game with that maybe we don't know about, that they're going to talk about, that is due this year.
I fully expect a couple of those.
Yeah. And who knows? They re-up with Call of Duty again and cut a special deal with Call of Duty. We'll see that. Yeah, Square, we already know Final Fantasy 16, but if they get another game, maybe they package it together and put a state of play together for, let's say Call of Duty Holiday 2021.
That Jade Raymond game?
Correct. I don't expect to see that.
I don't know how far. Yeah, I don't know how far that off.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it's controlled. They don't have to show anything. That's why I don't expect them to, unless they absolutely have deals in place and they want to shout it from the rooftops. And that might happen closer to holidays. All I'm saying. Okay,
and Centurion, man, what do you think? Sony's gonna, right after Xbox goes, drop something, or you think they're actually gonna announce it during the E3 week or after E3 is all over on the 15th? Or
Pong has been hitting it hard today on all the points. Definitely, I have to agree with him. It just depends on the size of the bomb Microsoft decides to drop. We've seen Sony totally recover mind share from a simple tweet. So, I mean, like, dude, like, I've never seen literally, I like the PS5 logo got revealed and the crowd went wild. I'm still a little confused on that one. But at any rate, dude, we all know what Sony's going to do. They're going to sit down. They're going to crouch like a tiger. They're going to wait. They're going to see what Xbox does. And then they're going to just kind of play their cards from there. I couldn't disagree with what Pong said at all. They literally are in control of the mind share. They really are the market leader. They're banking on the fact that they are seen as the market leader. So if we just look at, sometimes it's better to not exactly acknowledge your competition unless you absolutely have to. So Sony's just doing Sony.
No, I agree. And like you said, they don't necessarily need to counter necessarily anything. So we'll see, a lot of this is all relative till afterwards. Hindsight is always 2020. So once we see what what these companies are going to show us, then we can have a clearer picture as to, what going on from there. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and actually wrap up the show, man. It was a phenomenal show. Shout out to everybody who came in and watched, man. We've been rocking out for a little while here, man, but we greatly appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us, man. It's been awesome. But before we go around the panel here, once again, guys, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not, man. We're going to have a big show next week. I'm going to let you guys know when we're officially going to do the live stream and everything for E3. It'll be a little bit different this year. Usually I would use Hangouts and things like that, but I'll get it all settled before the week is over, and I'll get you guys an information early on so you guys can tune in and hang out with us next week. And also, next week's show will be E3 focused. So it's kind of going to be just a free-for-all. We'll just kind of throw out our ideas and just final expectations, before this thing gets kicked off officially. But first things first, Fastback, we appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Shout out to NLG. They showed some love. Had a couple people in the chat showing love. Mike. Shout out to you, though, Chris, for hanging out with us. Hope you had a great time, but let everybody know where they can find you and what you got going on, brother.
Yeah. Hey, again, thank you very much. I asked to come on, and you said, hey, let's go. And like I said, I've been a long time fan and friend of the show. P2K, I appreciate what you've done. You come a long ways. You got a great panel here with Centurion, Stagger, Pong Soul, Fuzzy.
Thank you, brother.
I love what y'all do. Common sense, just straight to the point. Positive, thoughts. I know Fuzzy got a little out there. Don't blame me, but no. Again, you can find me every Thursday night on the Next Level Gaming on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern, and with my brother Mike and HTK, which you saw him in the chat. And we're also, we're part of the Gamers United Guild, and Pong Soul and Centurion, they're part of that with TXR and Unite Ultimate Xbox. And just this community is great, and just you guys are a big part of why this community keeps going in the positive direction and has grown. So thank you, everybody. And the chat has been fire too. A lot of good topics in the chat. Everybody's been pretty cool. So it shows you guys foster a great gaming environment in the gaming community. So I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man, and thank you for all the kind words, man. We do the best we can over here. We don't, have the biggest show, but quality is important. We like to have fun, and we hope it shows through to everybody. And people seem to appreciate that. So thank you for taking a little time out to hang out with us. Once again, do yourself a favor. Go check out NLG. All of that information is in the description below. Shout out to the $5 super chat from Vic. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for supporting us here. But yeah, go follow them if you're a fan of us here. Please go follow NLG, the entire Gamers United Guild. They got a lot going on over there. You don't want to miss anything. You guys got the stream going next week as well. You guys are live streaming E3 as well, right, Fastback?
Yes. So of course, this Thursday we'll have Pong Soul on, and I think ACS Husk, and then of course Sunday, we'll stream it, and whoever shows up, and we'll just have fun.
Awesome. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that we'll just have fun and see what comes out.
All right. Well, once again, you guys do me a favor, go check them out. And once again, Fastback, you're welcome here anytime, brother. Great to have you on. You added so much to the show. We had a great time. Thank you. So let's go ahead and get to my 4 horsemen here, man. We'll start with you, Stag, man. Appreciate you coming to hang out with us, man, and let everybody know what you got going on with the streaming.
Oh, man, I'm going to be streaming a lot of Anthem this week. So
sweet. Lock in.
I'm just kidding. I just couldn't let it go. I just couldn't let a week go by without us talking about Anthem.
I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you caught it. I did mention it. Yeah, I did. Like first,
I must not have been listening to you. I do that every week. So. Man, yeah, streaming 3 days a week right now. I pulled it back a little bit just because like I told you guys in private, I got some health stuff going on, but nothing super. Don't worry, I'm not dying. At least I don't think I'm dying. But yeah, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays I'm streaming. You can check my schedule on my Twitch, excuse me. And then I'm here Saturdays, man. It's always fun.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you here as well. Shout out, got the new puppy popping off too, man. Go check out them pictures you guys on Stag's Twitter account, man. Cute puppy, but appreciate you, bro. Always glad to see you here every single week. Yeah, hella cute.
Go play with that puppy.
Hella cute, but appreciate you, bro. And let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion, man. Let everybody know what you got cooking up. Appreciate you always here every week as well, brother.
Well, as soon as I get done with the project I got going on, I am cooking up a set of videos for us all to learn how to better network our homes for internet and faster internet speeds, especially with gaming going the direction it is with like Battlefield 6 and all these new games that are going to have massive multiplayer rooms. You definitely want to get that dialed in. But for those who do want to find me, my channel, and my content, you can find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube, Xbox Live, and Twitter. You can also find me here every Saturday night with these fine gentlemen, my family, my podcast family, right here on the Shop Podcast. And you can find my other extended family right over every Sunday night on the TXR Podcast as well.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you, man. Add so much to the show, man. You're awesome, man. So go check out his content as well. YouTube, Twitter. Do yourself a favor, man. Mr. Steve Harvey, a.k.a. Pong Soul, making the rounds, man. Rookie of the year. I'm telling you. Rookie of the year. But no, you're doing big things, man. Living split screens popping off. That's growing like crazy. Xbox Ultimate's growing. You just listen, man. You're a good guy, and good things are supposed to happen to you. But let everybody know what's going on, where they can find you at, Pong.
Man, you always embarrass me, PTK. I can't believe it, man. You always do. This is crazy, but thank you. Thank you for all that. I appreciate it each and every week. Again, no other place I'd rather be than here with all of you guys every Saturday night. I love this show, love everything about it. And PTK, first of all, congratulations on the 5 years, man.
Thank you.
I already told you in a tweet, but I'm just humbled and honored to be a small part of what you got going on, because you've built something special here. And, obviously the chat shows it, and the people that you have on the show show it. And so it's just great to be here each and every week. Love it, love it, love it. Chat, you guys were absolutely phenomenal tonight. Lots of good discussion in there. We always got great people that show up in this chat that, like I was just talking about. It's crazy, man. Even the discussions that go on that might have different opinions, they're always cool, calm, and collected. Nothing personal. None of the ugliness that you see elsewhere. So that's great. Thank you all for being here each and every week. Brother Chris, Fastback, it was amazing to be on my first show with you, and I can't wait until Thursday when I get to be on another one with you and join the crew and all my brothers over there. been a long time coming, man, and I'm just happy to be here with you. It was great to hear your thoughts tonight, as always. So thank you for being here. But yeah, Pong Soul everywhere. Xbox, Twitter, you guys know the drill. As PTK just kind of laid out, Friday nights Xbox Ultimate with the absolutely fantastic, magnificent 7 over there. Fun Speculation, aka Mav, his beautiful wife Caitlin, and the rest of everybody. Just having a great time. Mav is just killing it with bringing guests
Shout
on,
out
just
to
like you,
Mav,
PTK. Yeah, and he's killing it. That channel is growing like
they're amazing.
gangbusters, man. And,
Yeah.
and we got some big things coming up for
Ooh,
E3,
I
like
know.
everybody does. So
I know.
yes,
Shout out
you
to
do.
Mav and Caitlin, yeah.
Yes. So anyways, great time over there, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time on Friday nights. Come check us out. Otherwise, Saturday mornings, again, we just did episode 11. We had a little technical difficulty at the end. OBS died on us, so unfortunately we didn't get to record the last part of it. But Steel Rain and myself on Living Split Screen, we had an amazing show going today. The support from this community is insane. We just hit 200 subs live on the air today, so we are
Awesome, man.
happy.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But everybody that's coming out each and every week, and PTK and everybody here that pushes it, thank you so much, because we are just having a great time over there. Saturday mornings, Living Split Screen, all one word, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. UK time. Come see us. Come check us out. Check out our previous episodes. See if you love the energy that he and I love to bring. Thank you, Fastback. You guys are just amazing support. And then obviously Saturday nights here on the Amazing Shop podcast, and then Tuesdays, except for this week. Real life work sucks. This Tuesday I will not be on, but normally you will see me on the Xbox Factor podcast with Mr. Boomstick and Zemi Games. Zemi's also taking some time off. We had Mav as a replacement last week, which was fantastic. But Xbox Factor, Tuesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Again, love you all. Thank you so much. Love doing this, and wouldn't be here without all of you. So play what you love what you play, and go have some fun the rest of this weekend, would you?
Awesome. He's a superstar.
Hey, are you
people.
done? Hold on, I thought you had some more to say.
He's a superstar, people.
Look,
I'm trying to
Stag.
tell you.
Look, Stag, I just borrow some of your time, okay? That's all I do.
No, dude, I keep mine expressly short so that we can fit you in.
Listen, people, we love it here. This is what we do, man. I greatly appreciate you, Stag, everything you add to the show. Stag and Pong, my bad. I'm meant to throw both of y'all in there, but both of you guys. But Pong, man, you're awesome. Rookie of the year. I keep telling you, man, you're going to get that trophy at some point. I think it's pretty unanimous at this point, man. But appreciate you always hanging out. You add so much to the show. Your energy, man, you fucking battery. I told you what you are to me, man. Every single week, you help me bring my energy up. So appreciate you, man.
You already embarrassed me enough.
Yeah. But not enough, not quite enough. But
Don't worry, he's not going to fire you if he's not going to fire me. Jesus.
Yeah, no, he's been trying to get fired for a year and a half now. Not happening. We got a lifetime contract. But anyway,
Thursday, don't worry.
All right, but last not least, we're gonna let this man smooth us all the way down. Fuzzy, man, let everybody know what's going on with you, where they can find you, brother.
You can usually find me either ranting or making silly posts on Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere. PSN playing GT Sport or bitching about it on PSN at @fuzzy_Belvedere, or playing one of my favorite games, Forza Horizon or Division 2 on Xbox Live at Fuzzy Space Belvedere. I mean, this was an awesome show today. Love with the energy from the chat and from the panel. It was always great talking about games and stuff with you guys, and it was great having Chris on here as well. This was
Thank you, Fuzzy.
the highlight of Saturday. So this was definitely awesome. Look forward to more conversations like this.
Absolutely. So once again, PTK Blam, the host with the most. Hit me on Twitter, hit me on Xbox Live. All of that's PTK Blam across the board. Appreciate you guys. So next week, man, gonna be a special week, like I tried to tell you guys. Obviously, we got E3 cooking up, so we'll have a special episode on Saturday, just strictly E3 related, giving you that ahead of time. I'm trying to work on getting a guest this week for next week as well. So we'll see about that. I'll let you guys know early Monday, Tuesday, what's going on with that. But appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week. We got a lot to be excited for, but peace out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.
Later.
Later, everybody.